The Welsh squad to compete in the November test matches has been announced. Although, actually, I say the Welsh team to compete has been announced. We hope it's a Welsh team that's going to compete. We could be possibly by the end of November using that Simpsons stop he's already dead meme again. But hopefully there are green shoots with this Welsh squad that's been announced. Some names that are back in the fold that weren't there this time last year. And that's a great thing for Wales. And I do think they are gradually, baby step by baby step, moving in the right direction. And I think they will take steps forward this November. But looking at the fixture list, it's brutal. What are they playing? They're playing Argentina first up, who were cooking in the Rugby Championship. Then they play Japan, and then New Zealand and South Africa. So I think possibly you could catch Argentina cold. And actually, Argentina showed against South Africa, their set piece is vulnerable. So could Wales get any sort of... Well, they could get parity there, I'll say, at scrum time. And that's a platform, and then they can maybe do some damage. Japan, Wales have to win. That is non-negotiable. They absolutely have to win. It was the game, it was the opponent that they managed to end the losing run. They've got to double that up and win at home. Non-negotiable, absolute abject failure if they don't. Argentina, they'll be thinking that would be the one they could target for a surprise. New Zealand and South Africa, is it wrong to say that that's kind of damage limitation? Put in a good show, never give up for 80 minutes, but the result we kind of already know. I guess there is an element where we already we don't know what sort of team is going to be put out, because the other factor is there are some players, the guys that play in England, will not be available to Wales for that final game against South Africa. Then again, we don't know what team South Africa are going to put out in that one. So anyway, let's get into it. I'll give you my thoughts. I've got what I think is the strongest Welsh 23-man squad. I'll go through that at the end of the video, and I'll go through the squad between now and then. Let me know your thoughts in the chat down below. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and there are the forwards. And the big news there, and I think it's a cool story, Rhys Carré is in. He is back. And Adam Beard is back. The last game Adam Beard played for Wales was in the November test last year, missed all of the Six Nations. He's playing in Montpellier now, and he's doing really well in France. And that's big. I mean, literally. In every single way, that's big for Wales. And they need large humans to try and stem the physical tide that they've been up against when coming up against the top teams. And Rhys Carré, he's a big old unit as well. I have to say, when you look back on it, I thought it at the time, talked about it at the time, but the treatment of Rhys Carré, Warren Gatland just did not like him, did he? Didn't fancy him as a rugby player. And I don't know, I think he was a bit harshly done by there. I didn't think he was going to be eligible to come back in. So I don't know whether they've adjusted the rules slightly, or maybe it's because of what's going on behind the scenes in Wales with the imminent announcement of whatever's coming next for the regions, the lack of a contract offered for Rhys Carré. Maybe that means he's now outside of the cap rule situation. But in any case, he's back in, so that's really good. I would suggest that Rhys Carré will probably be the third choice loose head prop, and starter will be Nicky Smith, Gareth Thomas, Danny Southworth's in there as well. And I think that Danny Southworth is in there because Wales are going to be short Rhys Carré and Nicky Smith for that South Africa game. So they're going to need Gareth Thomas and one other for that match. That's as long as there's no injuries as well. So we'll see. Hooker, Dewi Lake, Liam Belcher, Brodie Coughlin. Now, Coughlin is a potential debutant. There's 4 of those in the squad. Liam Belcher's got 2 caps. Dewi Lake is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that hooker position. He might go very deep into matches, I would suspect. Belcher, probably the backup. Tighthead prop. I mean, lack of caps here is such an important position. Kieran Asarati, 15 caps. Archie Griffin, 8 caps. Chris Coleman, 1 cap. Now, my mates that are Welsh reliably inform me Chris Coleman is a big boy. He's about 130 kgs, and he's coming into his prime years. He's 27, and he could do some damage in the future. He's got 1 cap to his name. Let's see what he can do, but I'd imagine Asarati's probably got the starting spot. I'll come on to my team in a bit. The lock position, Will Rowlands has announced his retirement. Which one do you think came first? Was it Will Rowlands was left out, and then they got on the phone to him and went, do you want to announce your retirement before we announce the team that you're not in? Or do you think they were like, Will, come on, we need an answer. Are you going to be in or out? Will Rowlands said no, and then they didn't announce him in the squad. I don't know which way round it was, but I suspect it was one of those two things. But Adam Beard is back anyway, so it'll be Beard and Jenkins in the lock. You've got Ben Carter, Freddie Thomas, Rhys Davis, James Fender, potential debutant as well. Some decent options at lock. And same goes in the back row, where you've got a kind of first choice, Aaron Wainwright, Jack Morgan, Taulupe Faletau, and then Alex Mann, Tame Plumtree, Morgan Morse, the kind of younger guys coming through. And it is time for Morgan Morse now, isn't it? It is time. Welsh fans have been clamouring for him to be included for a while. He's there in the squad. He's 20, 3 starts and 2 tries in the URC already this season. And yeah, I imagine he'll get some game time at some point. How much remains to be seen. As for the back line, and the headline there is Lewis Rees-Zammit is back. LRZ. That's big. And they've got, and when you look at that back three, Josh Adams, Lewis Rees-Zammit, and Blair Murray, that can do damage to anyone in World Rugby, providing they get decent ball. And what's going to provide that is the pack that we've just gone through. Thomas Williams has been excellent at halfback. Kieran Hardy and Ruben Morgan-Williams to back him up. Fly half. Who gets your starting job at 10? That's one of the big questions. Dan Edwards is the incumbent. He had the job for the Japan match. They won that. But then before that, they had Costello not involved. You had Anscombe not involved. The other two that are in the squad, Jared Evans and Callum Sheedy, I would suggest they're backing Dan Edwards up. But I think Callum Sheedy could be a shout. We'll see. Centre, Joe Hawkins, another name that's back. It's just starting to make it feel a little bit more solid. Nick Tompkins there, Ben Thomas, Max Llewellyn, Louis Hennessy is kind of the only out-and-out 13 in the squad, so I'm told. So he's getting some experience in the squad, and I've already gone through the back three where you've got Tom Rogers backing up those 3 that I suggested. And when I pick what I think is the strongest Welsh team, again, there is some green shoots. And yes, maybe it's all calibrated from the fact that Wales have been that bad that actually when you suddenly put Adam Beard, Lewis Rees-Zammit back in the team, and you get Captain Jac back in there after his Lions exploits, suddenly you start to feel a little bit more positive. I don't think they're going to beat New Zealand. I don't think they're going to beat South Africa. I think that they will probably lose by a couple of scores to Argentina. But I think they can be more competitive. They're not going to be embarrassed in the way that some of those Welsh teams have been in the last 18 months, 2 years. And the age profile of some of these players is better. They have to try and get out of the third pot and into the second pot for the Rugby World Cup, because I just fear that on December the 3rd, when the World Cup draw is announced, Wales are going to be in pot number 3. And that could be a disaster for them, depending on who they get in their draw. It could be an early exit from the Rugby World Cup. But then again, they always tend to do well when the World Cup comes around, and there's nearly 2 years to go yet. So there's a lot of water to go under the bridge. Crucial ones for me. 10, can Dan Edwards establish himself there, or is someone else going to take the reins? Someone's got to steer that ship. And Tighthead prop. Such an important position on the field, and it just feels like that is a big weak link for Wales. And added to all of that, keeping the big players fit and available is going to be huge. So there you go. There's my thoughts. There we go. That's Wales. The squads are starting to come out. The games are getting closer. I'll be covering all of it here on the channel. I'm hoping to get to Cardiff for one of the games to look in on Wales. I'm going to be getting to Twickenham, Paris, Chicago as well. I'm getting around as much as I possibly can. And if you appreciate that on the channel, then subscribe, drop a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one.